I'm not going to pretend like I'm the smartest guy when it comes to politics because I'm not. I'm some guy with a microphone and a green screen about three-fourths on the video camera talking about politics and giving his opinion. But the Democrats haven't really learned anything in the past, I don't know, 20 years because you have Exhibit A right here. Nancy Pelosi telling everybody that we need a strong Republican Party. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip with you guys so you guys can kind of get a full context of what she is saying. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
I want the Republican Party to take back the party. Take it back to where you were, where you cared about a woman's right to choose, and you cared about the environment, and all hey, here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party.
No, we don't. In a very twisted way, we already have a strong Republican Party. They are getting what they've always dreamed about. In the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 decades, ever since Roe v. Wade came into effect, Republicans have been trying their hardest, their absolute hardest to get rid of it. And it took them a long time, a very long time. And it seems like they are about a month away from reaching their dream goal. I would say that is pretty strong. They got what they wanted. They got one of their lifelong dreams. Their career ambitions have been achieved. In about a month, it will be achieved officially. And here Nancy Pelosi is talking about how they need a strong Republican Party. Now, I know when she says strong Republican Party, she's talking about a Republican Party that cares about climate change, that values abortion rights. Well, there's a news flash to that. They never cared about any of that at all. Now, I imagine Nancy Pelosi wants to have a strong Republican Party in her eyes so she can continue to fundraise and eat her $90 ice cream in her however much it cost refrigerator. It was like $2,500. It should actually be illegal to have that expensive of that expensive of a refrigerator, freezer, and eat ice cream at the same time. It should be one of these right here. FBI, open up! Yeah, that should be happening to Nancy Pelosi whenever she opens up her freezer and get her $90 ice cream. I don't know how much it costs, okay? Ice cream is probably not $90. I'm exaggerating, yes, okay? You got me, YouTube. You got me, comment section, or wherever you're hearing this at. You got me. Oh, here we go. On the issues, Bush opposes abortion except in the cases of rape, incest, or to save the mother's life. Oh, wow. It looks like 20 years ago, in the 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, the Republicans, the president at the time, was on the exact same branding as the current Republican Party. Nothing has changed. Let's look at Ronnie Reagan. Yeah, let's look at Ronnie Reagan. This was in the 80s. When Reagan ran for president, he won back the pro-life forces by advocating a constitutional amendment that would have prohibited all abortions except when necessary to save the life of the mother. Yeah, in the 80s. This was literally decades ago. They were always doing this. And we talk about the LGBTQ people these days. It was the same shit. Republicans still want to take these people down. They want to eliminate rights wherever they can. They want to go back to the Ronald Reagan era where they were laughing at the AIDS pandemic and calling it like a gay virus. That's where they want to go back to. They want to go back to publicly being able to get people who are gay and put them back into the closet. That's kind of what they want to do. They want to go back to a world where Benny Shapiro can hop on his podcast, YouTube show, and say that the only thing guys are allowed to touch is
wet ass P word.
Except me, because I'm Ben Shapiro and I don't touch it anyways, because my wife is dry. These people aren't going to listen to Nancy Pelosi. They're not going to listen to you. I don't know why I'm saying to you. She's never going to watch this video, but Nancy Pelosi is not going to be listened to by hardcore Republican voters. Let's look at the comment section. Yeah, let's read it a bit. Here we go. We need you to stop inflation, provide our babies with formula, protect the border, open the pipeline, and stop restrictions. Get this witch out of power. We're not a cult. We're true Americans that believe in the Constitution. Is she even sober? Can't even keep her fake teeth from clacking. This lady needs to repent and try to do good for her soul. This is the witch calling the kettle black. LOL. The crypt keeper needs to go. A true nutcase. Wow. She just wants you to join her cult. LOL. The hardcore Republicans, the people who voted for Trump twice in a row, the people that voted for George W. Bush, and the people that vote for people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're never going to come over to your side. It's just not going to happen. And the issue isn't just Nancy Pelosi. It is the entire Democratic top part. The Democrat elites. These people don't understand that times have changed and the Republican Party has gotten even more crazier over the time. Here is Joe Biden. I call him Joe Biden. Here is Joe Biden talking about the good old days. It's a 10-second clip. We'll play it.
Even back in the old days when we had real segregationists like Eastland and Thurman and all those guys. But at least we end up eating lunch together.
Yeah. So even back in the good old days, when we had real segregationists, at least we ended up eating lunch together. That is absolutely meaningless. It means nothing. Oh, wow. Joe Biden gets to eat lunch with his favorite racist. He gets to eat lasagna with him. Oh, wow. Good job. It's not really doing anything at all. And that time is long gone. And even then, you got to have some sort of standard, right? I mean, I understand that, like, you can have friends who aren't Democrat. I do, right? But when you are in a position of power and your job is to make things better for the public, but yet you have people like, let me bring it over real quick. No, thank you. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a top fundraiser for the Republican Party, who once raised $3.2 million in the first 3 months of her time in office. At the same time, in the past, she talked about how we should assassinate top Democrats, how we should hang Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and how Nancy Pelosi herself, the person who said we need strong Republicans, should be shot in the head with a bullet. And we are expecting these people to have a rational conversation when you have people like her who are deeply into conspiracy theories, a person who shows support for assassinating other members in office. You have people like Lauren Boebert, who joked about Ilhan Omar being a terrorist suicide bomber. And you have these other useful idiots who play centrist for them and want you to compromise with the person who not only supports killing the other side, defended January 6th, still to this day defends January 6th. And then you have people like Joe Scarborough who say, hey, this isn't the Republicans' fault. It's actually the Democrats' fault for doing this. Because if the Democrats just decided to to compromise, we would be able to get something done. At what point do you compromise with people who are extremely radical in their positions and are finally getting their lifelong dream of banning abortion, at least state-wise right now? And you have people like Joe Scarborough or other centrists who will look at that and be like, oh, wow, well, that's a compromise because the blue states can keep their rights, and people who live in the red states, well, they can just go to the blue states, which is a brain dead take because not everybody can afford to just leave red states just because they live in a state where their people don't care about rights for them. That is like saying, well, I know that we're currently doing the whole civil rights issue, and I know that you black people kind of enjoy rights, which, you know, if that's the case, you can just go to the blue states. If you are in Alabama, you can just move to California. You can move to Boston. And it is just an idiotic take because there is no bill the Democrats can make at this point that the Republicans would be okay with in terms of abortion. These are the same people right now who are having discussions about the death penalty for women who have abortions. These are the people who are having talks about legislation that doesn't even grant abortion rights to women who were raped or have a pregnancy due to incest. These are people who are also clamping down on birth control. We have people who are literally talking about getting rid of birth control, talking about getting rid of Plan B, abortion pills, the IUD, all of that stuff they also don't like. And as soon as you get these people back into power, whether it is the midterms, whether it is, God forbid they get the presidency and the House and the Senate, they get a full stack. They already have the Supreme Court because, the Supreme Court has always been a source of power, which is why you have Republicans stack it with conservative judges, and you have the Democrats stack it with more liberal judges. It's always been like this, and people act like now it is a surprise. When you lose, there's consequences, and now we are seeing one of those because the Republicans, they slowly but surely want to take rights away from specific groups and demonize others. We see them doing this with gay people right now, where they're talking about how Disney is turning your kids gay. How if them seeing a gay person in the back of a Star Wars movie holding hands somehow like warps your kid's mind, and like it like short circuits their brain waves into liking guys all of a sudden if they're a guy themselves. It makes no sense. It's completely idiotic, but it is a narrative that they are pushing so they can go ahead and slowly but surely find a reason to get people on board with taking away potentially gay marriage, because that wasn't too long ago. And I'm pretty sure that you have that crazy theocratic Christian base that the Republican Party has, who are mouth watering at the chance to go back to the good old days before 2015. It's something that I imagine they want to do. I'm not sure what is going to happen, but it is going to be what I imagine a very, very wild ride. I imagine a lot of people are going to be pissed off when the Roe v. Wade axing becomes official. I imagine a lot of people are going to be very pissed off. A lot of protests are going to happen. I hope it doesn't turn into riots. But I have a bad feeling about it. And will the Democrats win the midterm? To be honest, I don't think so. If I had to guess, I would say no. They will probably get beat down, and they will probably learn absolutely nothing, because the Democrats never learn anything. They're very bad at what they do, and unfortunately, the Republican Party is very good at what they do, which is create false narratives where it doesn't even make sense, but they prime their base up with fear, anger, about things that don't even matter, so they can trick the working class into accepting the fact that they have a bunch of CEOs over them that don't care about them, don't give them a proper wage, and only care about getting them back to work, working them to death. And then whenever they ask for a slight wage increase, even to keep up with inflation, they're like, no, get back to work. So, yep, there we have it. Don't know what's going to happen next, but I guess we will all have to see.